amazing times, where technology has reached a level that our grandparents couldn't even dream of back in their young years. We can talk with people located at the other part of the world in just seconds through these small smart devices that everybody uses on a daily basis. We can install and uninstall such a great variety of mobile apps meant to help make our lives easier. There is no doubt that these smartphones are a great addition to our everyday activities. But have you ever wondered if we are really the ones that use them and not them using us?
What I'm saying to people is, to all of us, I'm not knocking the phone. What I'm saying is, what is it doing to us?
Any intelligence service in the world that has significant funding and a real technological research team can own that phone the minute it connects to their network. As soon as you turn it on, it can be theirs. They can turn it into a microphone, they can take pictures from it, they can take the data off of it.
We are living through times where surveillance practices have become extremely unethical. No matter if you turn it off, no matter if you put it on airplane mode, it seems that your smartphone continues to work as if still being on, recording every movement that you make. Once you start using a smartphone, you become a part of this surveillance game. While many believe that only our data is being exploited, the fact of the matter is that the ones being actually exploited are us, the people. The process of surveillance that many of the mobile carriers are using is based on the usage of the International Mobile Equipment Identity, known as IMEI, and the International Mobile Subscriber Identity, known as IMSI. These are codes that help determine every single movement that you make whenever you have your phone near you. Both codes, IMEI and IMSI, represent the identification numbers that your smartphone and SIM card has, which are unique. The strategies they are using are very much encouraged by the fact that nowadays, people are more willing to use a mobile phone rather than a laptop or a desktop. And it makes sense. The smaller the screen, the easier and more comfortable to use wherever you are. Considering the fact that your phone is constantly connected to the nearest cellular tower, every time you use it, your whole activity is being recorded through the radio frequencies sent to that particular cellular tower. One might think that this happens only when the smartphone is on. Things are actually more complex than that. As radio frequency emissions are invisible, you can't see that your device, while being off, is still working, meaning that it keeps on sending data about your location and activity to cellular towers through the unique identification numbers we mentioned earlier, IMEI and IMSI. So this means that whenever you're carrying your phone with you, a record is being made about your presence in a certain location at a certain time that is used by companies to create their bulk collections of data. In other words, this is how mass surveillance takes place, collecting data in advance with the hope that it might become useful in the future. Now, is there something you can do to stop this? While this mass surveillance could be too complex to completely block it, any average person can simply shut the phone off. Yet, how can you tell if your device is actually turned off? You might just take out its battery, but can you do this with the current models of smartphones, since most of these devices come with a non-removable battery? Another approach to the issue could be to make the effort to try and diminish as much as possible the damage that this mass surveillance could cause you. Different ways of using your smartphone could be the answer, meaning that you could, let's say, use a virtual private network known as VPN that will encrypt and anonymize your online traffic. Also, you can turn to encrypted chat apps such as iMessage, which hide your messages and pictures to not be captured by surveillance programs. Turning off your phone's GPS seems to be another solution, but by doing so, some of your maps and weather apps won't work anymore. You might also turn it off and put it in a special bag, like a Faraday pouch. But this will completely block cell signals and you won't be able to give or receive calls. We need to understand that there is an industry nowadays that has a main purpose of keeping the process of all the data being collected invisible. This means that you have no idea what the apps you're downloading on your phone are actually doing with the personal information that they require once you're setting up an account. You do have the option of checking or unchecking the box where it says that you agree with their terms and services. But what if you don't agree? Simple. You cannot set up the account you need, whether we're talking about Facebook or any other mobile app. So it's this conditioning that smartphone users have to succumb to in order to have access to certain online services that are becoming more and more useful in these times we're living in.
When you sign up for Facebook, you sign up for terms of service. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. It says, the terms govern your use of Facebook and the products, features, apps, services, technologies, software we offer, Facebook's products or products, except where we expressly state that separate terms and not these apply. I'm a lawyer, I have no idea what that means. But when you look at terms of service, this is what you get. Do you think the average consumer understands what they're signing up for?
I don't think that the average person likely reads that whole document.
The whole process of gathering our personal information is so complex and lacks transparency that it's really hard to see what is actually happening when using the smartphone. This smart device that you and everybody in the whole world is using represents the bridge between you, the user, and the corporations, the governments. And in order to have the right to use the online services that everybody needs nowadays, you have to provide free access through that bridge to your personal data, which is collected and used without you having not even the slightest idea. You are being conditioned to use your phone that you paid for with the money that you worked for by following certain rules so that you become the main source of profit for those that need it. All this data that you're offering through the actions that you take with your smartphone becomes someone else's possession because all the records about you are not yours anymore. Once you agree, once you check that box that says you understood their terms and services, you are giving it all away to be used in whatever way profit hunters need to use it. In other words, as hard as it might be to understand, you agree that your phone is free to spy on you whenever and however.
This is changing the world. Some could say the change has already happened. They've got lists about everybody. They've got lists, more lists than Santa Claus. And you're on all of them. You have been hacked. But this is coming, and it's coming quickly. These are the things that nobody wants us to know, but everybody needs to know. We wouldn't know about any of this if people weren't willing to take risks to tell us, the public, what is being hidden from us.